I've opened up my PNG and my texture for my wood, and then a texture for the pattern I want to put on the cushions. I'm going to copy and paste the cushion texture in, select all, Command C to copy, and I'll click on the destination and hit Command V to paste. Now I'm going to save this immediately as a PSD. And I'm going to move the texture for the cushions down below the UV layer, layer 1. I'm going to take a moment to name this UVs. And I'm going to lock it by clicking on the little lock. The scale and position of textures is pretty subjective. I'll hit Command T and I'll scale this down a little bit. And I've kind of made this texture ahead of time and duplicated and blended it together, so that's something that takes a bit of time as well, but I'm going to replicate this. I'll duplicate it and I'll just put this one right there. And now I'm going to get my wood texture. Copy, Command W to get rid of it, and I'll hit Command V to paste it in, and I'll save it. And now I'll start to edit that so it is only on the wood surface. Now before I close it out, I'm going to turn off the UV map because it'll show up on our geometry, so we don't want those black lines. Now we're ready to go into Maya again. In Maya, I'll select one of the elements of my chair, right-clicking in the viewport, choosing Material Attributes. I'll go over to the Base tab in the Attributes, and I'm going to right-click on the word Color and choose Break Connection. We have to do that because very often it conflicts with the texture, and you'll have a combination of checkerboard and whatever texture you created in Photoshop. I'll go back out through the Color tab, back to the checkerboard at the end of the slider bar, and I'll choose File. And I'll follow the breadcrumbs out through File, File Attributes, Image Name, and at the end of that active text box is a folder. I'll click on it and I'll navigate to my texture. And the results are this. Now, I thought I had turned off that UV map, but probably I didn't save it after I did it. So you have to be very careful in Photoshop that once you make a change, you hit Command S on the keyboard. Now Maya will understand the change I've made, and what I'm going to do now is I'll right-click, go to Material Attributes, and I'll go back out where I introduced the texture. You'll see that the checkerboard's been replaced by a little black outline box with a black triangle, and I'll click on Reload, and you'll see it's updated that change for me.